In this episode, we learn that we're faster than a rabbit, but not quite as fast as a bear. It's amazing what you can learn about yourself. So let's go over. Last episode, we kind of worked on terraforming out an area for the farming area. I mentioned that in this episode, we're going to be starting on the temple build area. So that's what we are going to work on next. We're going to be doing a lot of building that's going to be related to the Shinto religion. And Shinto religion is more of a natural religion. That works out really good for here because the worshiping of the natural world, the waterfalls, things of beauty like this would have been seen as enshrining a kami, K-A-M-I, which is entity or a spirit. So that's what we're going to be working on here. Now, with that said, though, we are going to be building a pagoda right here. And a pagoda is a tiered tower that were built to have a religious function, most often Buddhist, but sometimes for Taoist. And that is fine, because really at Nachi Fall, there is a pagoda there, and it's a temple complex that mixes both Shinto belief and Buddhist belief all in the same place. When the Buddhist religion was coming into Japan, they had decided, instead of trying to eradicate the former belief system, they found it better to kind of adapt into and use part of it. So that's what has taken place there at Nachi. So we're going to do the exact same thing here. We're going to have a temple complex that's going to be more based on the Shinto belief, and I believe we're going to end up putting that all right there. And then we're going to use this area right here for the pagoda, and I think we're ready to get started. So let me clear out a little area here, and then we're going to start laying this all out. All right, so to get started, we're going to kind of figure out, one, where do we want the main temple complex to be? And there's several elements to a temple complex that we need to kind of take into consideration when we're doing this. First off, there needs to be a torii gate. Torii gate is the primary entrance going into the temple. So I think with the way that we're having things kind of laid out here, I think probably having the torii gate down at this end probably makes the most sense to me. Now, I think we're going to probably need to reduce this area down just a little bit, kind of like what we've been doing with the rest of the terraforming. And we're going to build this up just ever so slightly as we go along. We need to expand just a little bit, just to give us a little more room here. Start with where we're going to put the torii gate in. And then everything else is going to kind of build off of that. So let's start. I think we're going to end up putting the torii gate right about here. 1, 2, 3. I think that'll be good. Let's go 3 wide. 1, 2, 3. Oh, wrong spot. Let's put that right there. Okay, so that's going to be where the torii gate's at. It's not going to be made out of stone. I can hear it already. People going, no, you can't build a torii gate out of stone. Well, you can, but you shouldn't. It's the same thing I tell people about me and Speedos. Yes, they make Speedos for guys my size. That does not mean I should wear a Speedo. So just because we can do it doesn't mean we should. Same rule here. But what we're going to do is I'm going to use this just to kind of lay out where I want things to be, so we can see it in its environment, the way that it's going to look. So bear with me. Okay, so that's where the torii gate's going to go. So we're going to have ourselves a bridge that's going to lead right over here to this side. This will be the torii gate. So more than likely, we're going to end up taking this down just a little bit. But the next element that you need for a Shinto shrine is going to be the stone stairs. So that is going to work out pretty good right here. We'll have a set of stairs going up. And again, I don't know if I'm going to leave it up quite this high. We may only do 3 steps or 2 steps. So we may end up knocking a lot of this back. After that, we're going to have to create an area that's known as the Sando, which is the pathway that's going to lead into the shrine complex. So if we take, let me have some of this dirt here. Drop you off there and there for now. So we're going to need to figure out which way the Sando's going to go. And of course, I think that's going to lead probably right along this way. Now we're going to need another building, and it's going to need to set right off to the edge of the Sando. And this is known as the Temazuya. It is a shrine not a shrine. It's a purification area. So it's going to have water at it, places to sit where people can kind of wash their mouths, wash their hands, and get themselves prepared for entering into the temple complex. The next thing that we're going to need, the very first building that we're going to come into, is then going to be the Hayden. The Hayden is a building that is the hall of worship. It is where the people go, where the commoners can go into to worship the kami that's in there. And these can be various sizes. We're not going to go real big on this because there's only a few of us here. And by that, I mean one. So that's where the Hayden's going to go. And then right behind the Hayden, attached almost to the edge of it, we're going to have another very small building that's going to set up right in here. And that building is called the Honden. And the Honden is the building that actually houses or enshrines the kami. And we are actually going to assign a actual kami to this. Haven't quite decided exactly whom yet, but we're going to figure that out. So the kami is going to sit in a building right here, and it's going to be very small, probably about that size right there. Around the Honden goes a fence area called a tamagaki. So we'll need to put in a fence area around this. That's going to be our temple complex. So we'll have a torii gate. We'll end up having the stone stairs and the sando that will lead along this way. We have the temazuya, which is the purification area. And then we're going to have the Hayden. And then behind the Hayden, we're going to have the Honden. And the Honden's going to have the tamagaki fence that's going to go around it. So that's going to be our temple complex right there. For over here, we're going to be putting in a pagoda. The pagoda is going to be 3 stories tall, and we'll work on the outline of it. Again, this is not exactly where it's going to probably sit at. Probably going to have to make a little bit of adjustments here. But for example, I know that the main building itself needs to be 11 wide. So let's find kind of a central part and look at this and say, boom, that's going to be the center there. So we need to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that'll be an edge there. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That will be not there, but there will be an edge. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's another edge. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That will be the other edge. So this is going to be the full area of the pagoda itself. We'll incorporate this area right through here. So with this being the center, that means our walkway up to it, where I thought this might be the walkway, probably going to need to move the walkway. And if we're going to be having a area going over here to the torii gate, it kind of makes sense to have the walkway over here going up to it. So let's just go ahead and just plan on that. We'll go 1, 2, 3 to there, and that should get us a nice central walkway going up to the pagoda. So this will be the front of the pagoda right through here. Yeah, that'll work. I like that. Another element that exists at Nachi is what they call the sacred tree. And it's a tree that was planted, hundreds of years ago by oral tradition. And that tree is a sacred object that houses one of the kamis for the complex. We want to go ahead and put that over here as well, make it a part of the complex. And I'm going to put that down here. I went and got one of my purple heart seeds from back at the house and brought it back to here. So we're going to have a purple heart tree that will grow there eventually, probably in 50 days. If I remember exactly, it takes a long time. But we'll have that purple heart tree will come up there, and that will represent the sacred tree. Okay, I think I got everything that I need here. Let's go take a peek and see. So we are going to establish areas that will be part of a shrine complex, areas that are considered holy areas, sacred areas. I guess I shouldn't say holy, but sacred areas. And we're going to do that with an item that's called a shimenawa. A shimenawa is basically just a rope. that designates an area as being kind of off limits. Hanging off those ropes is an item called a shide, and the shide is a folded piece of paper that designates an area. Let's see. So we've got this purple heart tree. So let's go 1, 2 to there, 1, 2 out to there. So that's how wide that needs to be. Right there, right? So 1, 2, then that space, then 1, 2, and then we'll put another one right there. Yep, that's it. Okay, so 5, 1, 2, the tree, 1, 2. So we're going to cut this back just a little bit. We need to go 1, 2, 4, 5, and then to there. So the Shimenawa, there's a braided rope. So we're going to take hay bales. Stick with me here. We're going to need to... I already have... How can I make this go the way I want it to? I want it to be that way. There's me a ladder. Let's see if this will work like this. Can I make it point the right direction now? No. Actually, you know what? That'll probably look better anyways. Come to think of it. So we're going to want to go 2 fence posts high. And we want these hay bales to be on this side. Yeah, that'll work. That'll work good. Like that. Not a big fan of the way they're connecting, but that's okay. Perfect. Now, guess what you can do with hay bales? Did you know this? Hay bales can be chiseled. That's right. You can chisel hay bales. So that's what we're going to do here. We're going to, we're going to chisel this down, and we want it really to be like right along this bottom edge here, where this rope is going to be at, right? Am I thinking right? No, I think it needs to go. Yeah, that'll work. And what we may do then is we may just drop another one like that. Okay, so let's chisel these, right? So we need to take the big top sections off like that, because we're going to turn these into ropes. wanted to change it up just a little bit. I didn't like the way the fences were looking, so what I've done is I took kapok logs and chiseled them down into that little plush sign right there, and then added, I did that on the bottom, and then I added kapok to the hay bale to make it a multi-block chisel piece. That way I was able to bring the kapok up and bring the hay around to make it look like ropes tied onto the logs. I like that effect. All right, next thing that we need to do is for the shade, we're going to use plaster to represent folded paper. We're going to attach these in, let's see, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm thinking we're going to do like 2 on each side, like this. Boom, boom. There. And we're going to need each one of these. I was really hoping to maybe use like extended workbench or something like that for this. But I think we're going to have to end up, I don't know if these are going to actually, well, they might balance out right where a mod would help with that. But I think we can get this done pretty quick. So let's see. We've got 2 different styles here, and I'm going to kind of lay them both out so we can see what they look like. So we have one style that is like this, which is a kind of a smaller one, and then we got this one that's a little bit bigger. We're going to be going, I think, with these. I think we may do the smaller ones like this, but it's going to be, it won't be quite as dense. Okay. So let's take the chisel. There we go. And let's see. We can probably... Is that going to get it? Yeah, it's going to be too far back. So let's start. We're going to start off with the 4. And I think we can do the 8 at the bottom, because I think that's probably going to be just about the right size for this area. Like that. Now let's get to the 4 on the back side of this. Now these need to be just about the same width as this. So since these are 2 by 2, we could probably get by with a 1 by 1, or we could get by with a 2 by 2. For saving some time here, we're going to do the 2 by 2. I think that'll work. Now let's go down to... Let's try it with the 2 by 2 first. I think just like that'll be just fine. All right, let's do another one. So we should be able to just do this and get 3 per. I like it. All right, so that will finalize the shimenawa, which is the rope, and the shide, which are these little folded pieces of paper. And what this does, it basically says this area on the other side of here is protected. It is a sacred place. Do not desecrate it. So we are going to finish building this out, and I will be back. So we're going to end up moving. A pathway through here. That one pathway is going to end there. We're going to have an upper pathway that's going to come down through here to bring us over to the pagoda, the temple complex, and the sacred tree. So here is what we've got set up. I like the way that looks. So we can see the shade around the outside edge of it. We have the rope. So this is completed. I like it. That tree is going to grow up. And the sacred tree that is at Nachi, I can't remember. I think it's a castor tree. I can't remember for sure. I'll look it up. And if I'm wrong, I'll put a little note right there. But that tree has like moss and flowers and plants growing all around it. I think I can do that too. I've been trying to work out a way of, how can I make that work? And I think I figured it out. So we're going to make a wonderful tree right there. Hello, who are you? Are you a bear? That's a bear. Is that a sun bear? That is a sun bear. And he's running away from me. So there we go. Sun bears are not aggressive. There we go. Okay, we have a couple more things to do here. We need to establish a couple more Hoden. These Hoden, I'm sorry, not Hoden, the Honden. These Honden are going to be storing some of the other kami that we are going to represent here. For example, there is a kami that is the goddess of dawn. It is Ame no Azumi. We are going to build a Hoden for her. And I think, we talked about having a garden space put up over here. And I think since this is the east, we're going to do this. We're going to put her Honden over here. So we'll have an area coming up. And again, these Hondens are not very big, but we'll definitely want to do something pretty nice with them. I think, I wanted to kind of dig this down right here. So let's do that. And we'll put the Honden in right here. It's not untypical when you get to a temple in Japan that you'll find multiple locations and shrines built. One, two. We're just going to make this one small like this. There you go. On the screen right now, you're seeing a picture from my last trip to Japan, and this is the Senzuji Temple in Asakusa, Japan, which is part of the Tokyo Prefecture. The temple has several different shrines set up on the grounds of it. All of them fall within, and so typically you would have multiple Honden that would be represented inside that area, but it's not uncommon to have temples, local temples, and smaller shrines set up in cities, along the roadside, etc. So that's what we're going to do here. Okay, so that's going to be for Ame no Uzumi. We also need to do one for Kaze no Kami. Kaze no Kami is the god of the wind. I think we're going to set that up, and it's going to be an area that's probably going to be set up higher. I had mentioned that I wanted to leave this area here as kind of a little mountain area, and so we're going to put a Honden over here as well, next to where this mountain's going to be at. It'll be probably set. Let's do like right here, 1, 2, and again, these are going to be kind of small, not massive in size. So there we go. We'll put in a Honden right there. That's going to be for Kaze no Kami. There is going to be another one set up, and that is actually going to be out here on a little island that we're going to build. I want to build an island out here. Let's see if I can get over here pretty easy. We already have this little island space here. We're going to build this a little bit bigger, and this island itself is going to have a small shrine on it that will be to Sujin. Sujin is the god of water, is the kami for in Japan. So I thought, well, that'll be perfect for being out here. So I'll have to do a little bit more work to make this look like an island that I want it to look like. But we're going to put a temple, a Honden right out here. Again, not very big, probably about like that. And then we'll finish filling this in around here. That leaves one more location. You'll remember at the end of last episode, I said, hey, we got to do something amazing with this waterfall. And I think I figured out what we're going to do. So let me get over there and I'll be right back. So here we are at our waterfall. Run, bunny. Run, bunny. Here we are at our waterfall. And there is another island that kind of sits right here. And we have that big opening that heads off into that big cavernous area. We're going to put a pretty nice, substantial shrine right here. And that's going to be to Hashiman. Hashiman is the divine protector of Japan. So we're going to put a nice, large shrine right here in this area. And it will probably be a multiple tiered when we're done with it. So it'll be, I'm just going to lay out a little area here just to kind of show where it's going to be at. And then we'll finish building up around this. So I think this will be really cool to have a nice large shrine right here as well, a Honden set up in this area. And I may have to adjust the size of it just a little bit, but you get the idea of where it's going to go at. So that's going to represent the religious buildings that are going to be here in this village. A mixture of celebrating some of the Shinto type kamis and the Shinto belief system, as well as some of the Buddhist belief systems and Buddhist structures that were introduced into Japan. Well, it looks like I got me a cave to go exploring in too. I didn't even know that was there. Okay. Hey, that's going to do it for this episode of our Edo World. Hope you appreciated it. Hope you learned a little bit about the Japanese belief system. And I think we've got a good layout for how things are going to look, at least as far as the religious structures go. We still have a lot of work to do in this village. So, again, this is going to be several episodes. But next time we come back, we're going to probably start work on the temple complex first right there. And then when we're done with that, then we'll start working on this large pagoda. Okay? All right, folks. Hey, thanks for spending time with me. This is Shino, and we will see you next time. Take care.